The name says it all. I'm Hakeem
Rob,
and today we're going to recap this past Saturday's Showtime Championship Boxing, in which we had the IBF Welterweight title on the line between defending champ Kell Special K Brook and challenger Errol the True Spence Jr. Now, if you've seen our preview video, you know we were probably one of the few people that were kind of on the fence about how this fight was going to go. Like, a lot of the U.S. press, media, fans were all like, oh, you know, Errol Spence is just going to go in there and wipe the floor with him. We're going full team Spence, which is cool because, you know, that's our guy. That's the U.S. guy. And then you had the British guys like, no, chocolate brownies all day. Errol Spence isn't going to be able to take it, which is cool. Us, on the other hand, we realized that these are some damn good fighters, and we were going to get a damn good fight. We played with some dynamics, but as far as who was going to win, we were kind of on the fence. So we put it on our Facebook and Twitter feed that, you know, we were going with Spence, but I was thinking split decision, and Rob was thinking, you didn't know how it was going to go, you just felt he was going to win somehow.
Right.
So, let's go into what actually happened in the fight. Now, before we do all that, I'm going to tell you now, you're going to like what you hear. So go ahead and subscribe and catch all of our updates. So let's get into how this fight went down and what tactics played into Errol Spence getting the TKO. Go ahead, Rob.
All right, so we know that Errol Spence fights from the Southpaw stance and Kell Brook fights Orthodox. So there was going to be a battle of positioning in this fight.
Yes.
Especially putting your lead foot on the outside of your opponent's foot, which they pretty much did very well. You could see when they started landing those jabs, and I think it was one positioning and could use their jab to set up their power hand.
Right.
Brook did a good job in spots. Spence did a good job in spots. I think Spence in this fight, you could tell, was actually much quicker than he was fast. And you can see how Brook's timing really gave Spence problems.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people were saying, well, Spence didn't look as lights out, and Spence didn't look like this, and he was a B-plus performance. No, he was in there versus an A-class fighter.
Yes.
And sometimes when you're in there versus a tough opponent, a top-tier opponent, for both guys, you just don't look as great as you have when you're in there versus a B-minus, C-level opponent.
Right.
This is not Leonard Bundu. This was Kell Brook.
Exactly. And a lot of people were sleeping on the skills of Kell Brook. And going into that foot position that Rob was talking about, it was very interesting because you have that conventional thought of, if you're Orthodox or Southpaw, you have to put your foot on the outside, like Rob said, and you travel in the direction of that foot. Meaning Errol Spence being a Southpaw, his right foot is going to be to the outside of Kell Brook's left foot, and he circles to his right to stay out of Kell Brook's power hand shots. Errol Spence did the opposite. Errol Spence had his foot on the outside, however, he was moving to his left, and there was a method to his madness, but Kell Brook was able to take advantage of it because his lead right hand was landing with consistency and frequency throughout the entire fight. It was just that the pace that we said that Spence had to set began to wear on Brook, and who knows if that weight actually played a part to it as well, but Errol Spence throwing tons of left uppercuts to the body probably helped that too. So that was the reason for him going to the left, so he could land that left uppercut when Kell Brook threw that right hand. Right. He wanted that to come, and Kell Brook would fall in, they get into a clinch, and Errol Spence would work that left uppercut to the body. So you get that going on for about 3-4 rounds, both guys giving, taking, setting excellent angles. This was a very good footwork battle. Like, I know everyone likes to look at the punches, but if you just look at what they were doing with their feet in this fight, you will be amazed at what you saw going down as the rounds progressed.
And as that footwork, because of the footwork, no guy was able to take full control for more than a round. Sometimes, even during the rounds, it would just be an ebb that was back and forth.
Right.
Spence would start off well, then Brook would show some toughness and some moxie and just come back and start throwing his own punches and push Spence back. But again, with that pace, Spence was able to not only continue to come forward in a lot of spots, but he was able to throw a higher volume of punches. Now, Brook is not someone that throws a high volume of punches.
Right.
Spence is. He will swarm you if necessary. And that's how it led into the 10th round. Again, it was back and forth. It was not a clear-cut fight. While Spence did start coming on after about the 4th round, Brook was not going away, was not fading slowly. Now,
Right.
He was fading, but that could have been due to those body shots by Spence.
Yeah, it was a very nice setup because earlier on, Kell Brook was doing a very good job, not only keeping that distance where he could land that lead right, and there was no tail to it. I mean, he just bow, and Spence was open for it the entire time because he was moving into it like we talked about. But there was a method to his madness, and he was able to begin to get Kell Brook into that grappling match, whereas like with Sean Porter, he was able to use his size to impose on him and slow down and stop the action. Spence was able to fight out and get work in while Brook was trying to stop the action. And you saw that in the Porter-Berto fight. You saw that in the Ward-Kovalev fight, where one guy's trying to stop the action in Berto and Kovalev, and the other guy's trying to work in Ward and Porter. Mm-hmm. And in this case, Errol Spence. That takes a lot out of the guy who's trying to stop the action, because not only is he trying to tie you up, so he's using his physical strength and conditioning to do that, but he's also trying to stop you from punching. And with you not being a willing participant of that, that will sap your strength as you go along. So we had that battle of distance going on for like the first 5 rounds. And then you saw when they did clinch, and even if, whether the ref broke it up or not, neither guy gave the other guy a chance to really reset. So they get into the clinch, and as soon as they separated, one of the two would immediately fire back. Either with a jab like Kell Brook from the left hand stance, or he just come straight in with the right hand right after Spence when he thought maybe it was sweet and I could reset and get a new look. Kell Brook is coming right at him. So Spence was like, wait a minute, let me, I have to adjust to this. So that's when Spence starts standing his ground like around the 5th round, 5th, 6th round, and just let Kell Brook come to him.
Now, if you're watching that fight, you can start to see the damage or some damage continue to happen to the left eye of Kell Brook.
Right.
And it was just consistent, and that had a lot to do, one, with the jab.
Yes, his Spence's jab over Brook's jab was the adjustment that he had to make in order to take control of the fight, because earlier it was Brook jabbing over Spence.
Now, if you watch it in the 10th round, he actually landed that right hook, which actually stunned Kell Brook and pushed him back to the ropes, and Spence just jumped on him with a few punches, especially over the top. So that was the first knockdown, the first knockdown of the fight. And even at that moment, Kell Brook got up and he started to fight back, and he started to push Spence back, because that happened within the first 30 seconds of the round. Still 2.5 minutes left to go. And Kell Brook made the best of those 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, and so you gotta give him credit for that. I mean, I noticed it in the 8th round. Kell Brook said it happened in the 7th round. So I watched the fight and I did pay close attention to it. But I noticed in the 8th round there was a combination where Spence landed a jab, a left uppercut to the body, and then a double right hook, and you see Kell Brook immediately go to that eye, and he's like, oh crap. And Spence saw it too, and he jumped on him again with another combination. And so I was like, oh, must have been where the damage is. But Kell Brook said it happened in the round earlier. He knows his body.
Yeah.
And so knowing that his right orbital bone was broken in the previous fight, now he's having problems with the left one. and people are out here questioning this man's heart, are you fucking serious? Y'all know I don't curse unless I mean it. Are you fucking serious? Some of y'all out here quit y'all jobs just because y'all don't like the way the boss talk to you. And you have this man with 2 broken orbital bones, still going 3 or 4 more rounds, still trying to win, and he decides, you know what, maybe this isn't worth it. I'm 31 years old, I've got 2 broken eye sockets, and I want to continue my career. Maybe I should just pack this one in. He is fully within his rights to do that. It is his health. You're not going to take care of him. And you're going to sit there with your Cheeto fingers switching between the Cheetos and the bonbons, sitting there talking shit on your computer about him being a quitter.
Now,
Fuck out of here.
Now, seeing a lot of y'all talking about at this point, if he's thinking about his health, then he should quit. If you're a fighter, one of the things that you're consistently thinking of is your health.
Yes.
Now, there are a lot of guys, the so-called warriors, who fight through a lot of pain, through a lot of injury, and that's fine. That makes for great fights.
Yeah.
But there's also guys like Antonio Margarito who kept fighting through that ass whooping that Pacquiao gave him, and now he could barely see out of one eye. We have a Kell Brook who was a heavyweight, if you remember, I want to say 6 or 7 years ago, heavyweight fighter, cannot see out of one eye because of the damage he sustained in the fight, in his last fight.
Magomed Abdussalamov still has not woken up from the coma that he sustained versus Mike Perez.
Pritchard Colon.
Another same thing.
So you have fighters out here, and those are the big extremes with Magomedov and Abdussalamov and Pritchard Colon. But guys like that, you're losing your eyesight, and trust me, because he's felt it before, he's actually wary of it, saying, okay, this is the 6th round, 7th round, I think I'm all right, I can make it through the fight, let my vision line up, and then as the fight goes on, once it doesn't line up, there's a problem, because not only could you lose that eye, but what happens if you're taking unnecessary damage, because you can't see the punches, where they're coming from, what angle.
My bad. Go ahead, keep going. I'm gonna turn it off.
You can't really see the angle, so not only you may be taking more eye damage, but you're taking unnecessary hits to the head, to the body, because some of these guys, they get hit so hard that they go, after the fight, they're pissing blood.
Right. Like Manny Pacquiao did against Antonio Margarito.
Right. So let's just really think about this before we judge someone off eye. Maybe it was a little early, but he did take the knee because, hey, I've got an eye injury. I don't want to lose my eyesight. I know exactly how this felt because I actually felt it in the fight before this one against a bigger puncher and a bigger fighter.
And that's a good point to make right there. He was in there with Triple G, then he was in there with Errol Spence. This wasn't like a JoJo Dan or who was the other guy that he defended against, Frankie Gavin. You injure yourself against one of those guys, maybe you say, you know what, I can fight through this. I can beat this guy. But when you're on that top level and you suffer an injury like that, fighting through that can greatly diminish your chances of functioning later on in life. And we all see those horror stories about guys that we used to love, and we used to say, oh, you know what, I'm so happy for that guy. He was such a warrior, blah, blah, blah. And then you see him and you can barely understand him, or he's hurting for money because he had to keep paying for all these surgeries and bills and stuff like that. And you're like, oh man, what happened to him?
Now, we're not saying
trying to placate to you, that's what happened to him.
And we're not saying that Kell Brook can't continue with his career, that he should retire. I'm not going to tell that man to retire.
It's his life. He can do what he wants.
But at this point, again, he took the knee in the 11th round, motioned to his corner. You know, my eye is jacked up. I can't see. If I can't see where the punch is coming, then it's just going to get worse from then on out.
Right. So, next for Spence, Keith Thurman immediately called him out, but you know he's out with arm surgery. He had surgery on his elbow. Danny Garcia's out there. Manny Pacquiao is out there. I doubt they fight Manny Pacquiao, but
still got Lamont Peterson.
Lamont Peterson's out there. You've got guys out there. And for Kell Brook, I think him and his team decided it was time for him to move up to 154. I think that's a good idea. There's some good domestic guys that he can fight over in the UK, make a substantial living, and those be winnable fights that he can look good in.
Shoot. If Cotto wins versus Kamagai, that would be a great fight with Cotto and Kell Brook.
Yeah, and like I said, that's while he's not a domestic rival. Like I was thinking, like Liam Smith.
Right.
And,
maybe he'll finally get Amir Khan in the ring.
Right. You got Amir Khan. Those are winnable fights, but I think that Cotto fight is winnable for him too. A lot of people were sleeping on the skills of Kell Brook, and hopefully seeing how he performed versus Errol Spence. So I think a lot of people only saw the Porter fight maybe, and weren't really watching those other fights to find out that this guy does have pedigree. Now they see that this guy has pedigree. I think Cotto's a winnable fight for him. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Leave your thoughts below. Share it with your friends. Hit us up on all of our social networks. And like we said, if you hadn't done so yet, you see that we show love to all the fighters. We're going to break down what happened in the ring and not just talk about the superficial, the surface level stuff. We go a little bit deeper. And if that's what you want, that's what you need, you got it right here. So hit the subscribe button. Thank you. And the next video you'll see us in is the Adonis Stevenson versus Andrew Fonfara 2 video, which should be out probably like a day or two after this one. So until then, fight on.
This is round one and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and cost. My fists are on fire, I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage, keep thinking that it's a game. I kick rhyme, hurricane, I told them I don't play, I'm liquid.
The Black Street Fighter.